Above all, do not lie to yourself. A man who lies to himself and listens to his own lie comes to a point where he does not discern any truth, either in himself or anywhere around him, and thus falls into disrespect towards himself and others. Not respecting anyone, he ceases to love. There is a lot in this quote from Fyodor Dostoevsky, but I'm interested in one part of it. What price do you really have to pay when you lie? After all, why not lie all the time? Lying is very powerful because you can manipulate the world with your language, and often you can get what you want or you can avoid what you don't want. So why not lie all the time? There are many reasons, but the perhaps most important one is that you can't trust yourself anymore after too many lies, and you will have times in your life where you have no one to turn to except you. You might believe you can distinguish the lies you tell to others from the lies you tell yourself, but don't be so sure of that. You become what you practice. You warp the structure that guides your actions, and once you start to go down this route, there will be many unseen consequences. Lying to ourselves is more deeply ingrained than lying to others. We can get away with it much more easily because there is no one to correct us, and at first glance, there is no price to pay. In the short term, lying to oneself is easier and less painful. Though you see the 7 defects of others, we do not see our own 10 defects. You know, there are these moments in your life where your intellect comes up with a bad artificial excuse for something, and you formulate your thought in your mind and quickly escape into this thought and pretend to yourself that you believe in it. But there is a deeper level of your psyche that knows that whatever you tell yourself in this moment is evidently wrong. And you know it because you can feel it. Dostoevsky understood this better than anyone. His novels are filled with men who destroy themselves not with grand sins, but with small constant betrayals of truth, until nothing is left of them but guilt, self-loathing, and the desperate attempt to escape themselves. At first, a lie feels like a simple thing, a small twist of the truth, a way to avoid discomfort. But Dostoevsky knew that once you lie to yourself, you lose the ability to see clearly. You begin to shape the world according to your own falsehoods until reality itself bends under the weight of your self-deception. Raskolnikov, in Crime and Punishment, tells himself he is a great man, above morality, destined for greatness. He lies to himself to justify his crime. But the moment the deed is done, reality does not conform to his illusion. It collapses around him. His mind splits, his conscience rots, and he spirals into a torment that no rationalization can erase. That is the fate of all liars. They lose the ability to discern what is true, and a man who cannot see truth is a man who is already lost. Dostoevsky's characters are haunted men. Ivan Karamazov, the great intellect in The Brothers Karamazov, claims to believe in reason, in logic, in the triumph of the human mind, but he also tells himself a lie, that morality is an illusion, that there is no higher meaning, that all is permitted. Yet what happens? His own logic turns against him. His theories come to life in the form of his own nightmare, a hallucination of the devil mocking him, reminding him that his lies have left him with nothing but emptiness and self-contempt. Lies strip a man of respect, first for others, then for himself. A liar looks at the world and sees nothing real, nothing meaningful, nothing to admire. He becomes cynical, detached, incapable of love, and as Dostoevsky warns, when a man cannot love, he is already in hell. A man who lies to himself and to others must keep running. He must drown out the gnawing voice inside him, the whisper that says, "You are false." And so he distracts himself. In Notes from Underground, the narrator, bitter, spiteful, self-loathing, has built his entire life on lies. He tells himself he is superior to the world, but he cannot look in the mirror without disgust. He lashes out at society, at people, at himself, searching for any form of distraction, any sensation, just to feel something real again. Because this is the final price of lying. You become nothing. You bury yourself in illusions, in cheap pleasures, in mindless distractions, because facing the truth would mean facing your own emptiness, and that is Dostoevsky's great warning. Lies are not just moral failings, they are slow, methodical suicides. If you think about it, there's a satanic arrogance about lying, because if you lie, you're also fully possessed of the idea that you can get away with it. It is the archetypal arrogance that's portrayed in the mythological character of Satan, because Satan is precisely the archetype of the element of the mind that believes that it can twist and bend the structure of reality without paying the price for that. And you can't imagine anything that's more arrogant than that, because do you really think that you can twist the structure of reality and that that's going to work out for you without it snapping back? It's so obvious that that can't work, that everyone knows it. You do not have the power to twist or distort reality without it snapping back at you in ways that you can hardly possibly imagine. You think that lying protects you. That's wrong. And how could it possibly protect you? What you're trying to do is adapt to the world, and if you lie so that you're no longer adapted to the world, then you're going to run into sharp objects and fall into holes non-stop. And the blinder you are, the sharper the objects and the deeper the holes. If you lie, to yourself or to other people, then you corrupt the structure that you use to interact with being. You corrupt it, and if you corrupt it, and if you listen to it, it will guide you to the wrong way. And the longer you go down this wrong way, the longer you sit in the wrong train, the more expensive and painful it is to come back. And if you miss the final exit, you might never get a chance to go back. Once the owner of the house gets up and closes the door, you will stand outside knocking and pleading, "Sir, open the door for us." But he will answer, "I don't know you or where you come from." Once you've gone too far, you are like Voldemort, who split his soul into 8 parts. You are like Judas, who sold Christ for silver and hanged himself. You are like Stavrogin, who sinned over and over until he lost the ability to feel anything at all. Once you go too far, you are no longer even a person. You are just a shell in hell, and then the door closes, and no amount of knocking will open it again. There is no blaming any of this on unconsciousness either, or repression. When an individual lies, he knows it. He may blind himself of the consequences of his actions. He may fail to analyze and articulate his past so that he does not understand. He may even forget that he lied and so be unconscious of that fact. But he was conscious in the present during the commission of each error and the omission of each responsibility. At that moment, he knew what he was up to, and the sins of the inauthentic individual compound and corrupt. Hell is a choice, and it can become permanent. The doors of hell are locked from the inside. The simple solution, make it part of your personality to never lie for any reason. Over time, you will naturally stop lying to others, and eventually you will discover how you lied to yourself. On a deep level, you may lie to yourself about what you want. You might have a dream life envisioned by your younger self without probing carefully into whether you really want it. You may entertain ideas about what you really want, but deceive yourself into thinking they're impossible to reach or undesirable after all. You then act in ways that you paper over with more lies, but deep down, you know it's inconsistent with your beliefs and you feel unsettled. Or even worse, on a meta level, you may be in denial about lying to yourself. You may believe that your truth is the only truth and that no amount of new knowledge can change what you believe. That all important facts have been discovered, and that everything will work out perfectly. Truth is the antidote to lies. How do you discover truth within yourself? You see what is there, without the lies of the mind. It's nothing to understand, but to see what is already there. One's own truth is fluid. What is true at one time for us, at some point no longer serves us, and eventually becomes a lie. The problem is not to find the answer, it's to face the answer. All the answers you need are already there. If you don't act upon your desire, the desire is a castle in the air. You are more in love with wanting than in actually having it. This creates the infinite hunt of something you don't really want in the first place. If you'd really want it, you would do everything, and I mean really everything, to get it. It is impossible to recognize all lies as lies at once, neurologically. You'd probably pass out before you'd even begin to dissociate. It's that much. I soon divided myself into 2 parts, one that spoke and one more detached, that paid attention and judged. I soon came to realize that almost everything I said was untrue. I had motives for saying these things. I wanted to win arguments and gain status and impress people and get what I wanted. I was using language to bend and twist the world into delivering what I thought was necessary. But I was a fake. If a lie is taking control over you, who is in control then? Is it you or is it the lie? And where do both paths lead you to? And which path do you want to pursue?